My next guest hopes that this year she can regain her confidence and rebuild her life. Before we meet her, let's hear from those closest to her.
Me and Jayne first met in a nightclub in Stoke. She was just stood out from everybody else. There was just something about her that made me think, wow. However, in April 2014, our lives changed forever. We had a dog, a huge Neapolitan Mastiff called Cece, and she just happened to paw Jayne's nose, caught Jayne's nose, and her nose started bleeding, pouring with blood.
I came home from college the one day and her face, like her nose was massively swollen across her face. It was really strange. It wasn't very nice seeing her like that.
When Jayne's nose was swollen, none of us thought it was going to be anything that serious. We thought it would just calm down and it would just go back to normal. And only when the doctor gave her the actual diagnosis of the disease did it become apparent how serious it was.
So over probably a 18-month to 2-year period, it's gone from completely swollen to having collapsed completely into her face.
Mum's condition has definitely affected her confidence. I feel like she can't be who she wants to be as much.
She had to give a job up at Marks and Spencer's, which she absolutely loved, because she felt so dreadful. She just wants to look normal.
What's important to me going forward is that she's happy.
Please welcome Jayne from Redditch. So Jayne, what is it that you'd like to achieve by this time next year?
This time next year, I'd like to have a new nose.
So Jayne, tell me about your nose.
I've got an autoimmune disease called Wegener's granulosis mitosis, which affects the blood vessels in your upper sinuses, and I've also got it in my ears and in my mouth.
So the dog didn't actually cause it, it was the injury that actually triggered it. Did it happen gradually? Or...
Initially, my nose was very swollen. One side started to collapse, so that was a little bit odd. And then at the end of last summer, this side decided to collapse, and it's called saddle nose. So now I can't smell at all.
Do you ever get your smell back?
I don't think so, because I think there's so much damage inside
Right.
that it's just gone completely.
How rare is it?
There's about 11 cases a million, so it's massively rare. The disease is treatable. You'll never, ever be cured. You get into remission, and then you have to stay in remission with medication for quite a while, but it does tend to relapse. You do tend to get attacks of it again. They basically have to dampen down your immune system with chemotherapy.
Which doesn't make you feel good.
And steroids and
darling, horrible, isn't it?
antibiotics and loads of stuff. So you balloon from your steroids, you're fatigued from the chemo, you look kind of silly, people say things, like random people.
Are people mean?
Oh, really badly so. Like, people will actually say, oh my God, what's happened to your nose? When you're out with your kids.
How does it look there? You are before your illness.
I don't tend to go to anywhere on my own. I tend to stick to the same places.
Where people know you.
Yeah, I'm quite nervous, lots of strangers.
Being here.
Yeah.
And talk to me about, because you couldn't look at that picture.
No, because it's just really hard to look different.
Yeah.
Really hard.
And you don't want to look at the old
No.
you, because it's too painful.
You forget what you look like. You forget how you used to be.
Is it like losing yourself a bit?
Yeah, it's just vile to not be able to recognise yourself in the mirror and have people stare at you when you go out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it. It's just really hard looking different and having people stare at you. And all I want to be able to do is breathe.
Yes.
And turn heads for the right reasons.
Yes. How are they going to do it? Can they rebuild a nose?
They're leaning towards a prosthetic because the damage inside is so bad. And they're very keen for me to be in remission of the disease, and then they'll sort me out with hopefully a prosthetic. So
And I bet it cannot happen soon enough.
It'll happen this year, I can't wait. I'm going to be singing and dancing.
Will you? I can't wait to see you singing and dancing out of that door. I'm really looking forward to it.
I really will.
So, Jayne, by this time next year, you will have a new nose.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Lots of love.
Thank you.
So, has Jayne got the new nose she so desperately wants? It's time to find out.
Oh, so good to see you.
Do you know, it's so good to see you two. I have thought about you.
Oh, bless you, have you?
A lot. I don't know why. I felt like we had a little
Connection.
connection. I did. And,
Well, you can appreciate a good nose.
yeah, I can. That is unbelievable. What a difference.
I can't tell you. I go out now and I don't have my head and my eyes to the floor. I just look everybody in the eye and I don't get stared at
And you're
anymore.
like a different person. It's so nice
Oh,
to
thank
see
you.
like a blossoming of confidence coming from within you. You know, it's lovely. Let's have a look at your journey.
OK. Today I'm going to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital to get my temporary prosthetic nose. I'm terrified in case it looks worse, in case people laugh more, and I'm excited because potentially I might look better by this afternoon.
Pale. But
It's mad seeing you with a nose again.
Hang on, now I've got a mirror. Right, obviously the
Yeah, yeah.
colour's too light.
I just feel really weird.
Looks great.
That's all I want.
Come on, Mum. You're all right. Look beautiful.
When I get home, I'm quite happy to just take off my nose because in the house, I'm absolutely fine with my family. I just can't wait for this to be a permanent one. My operation has been postponed. As you can see, I've been crying because I'm a little bit sad. The reason is that if I have the procedure next week, the hole that they cut here might end up not healing. The screws will fall out and I'll end up in a worse situation, basically. Today I got the overwhelming and exciting, frankly shocking news that I'm finally in remission and my vasculitis is laying dormant and I'm okay to have my surgery. My 3.5 years are finally over. I keep smiling and I keep crying and I can't believe it's over. It's Wednesday, the day of my operation.
You can come down with us. So she goes in.
See you later. I love you. See you later, Todd.
Love you, all right? See you in a bit.
See you later.
See you.
So the surgery's been a roaring success. Incredibly, something they weren't expecting. I can actually smell again. Everything tastes amazing. I thought I'd show you what underneath the plaster looks like. These little magnets are what's going to hold it in place. It's really amazing. Just waiting for the nose now.
Essentially, it's have a little squidge in it. It feels like a nice little nose. Pull that off there and you'll feel what it's going to be like. Yeah?
That's nice.
That's amazing.
It's narrower than the last one.
Looks great. Looks beautiful.
So you need to tip it up a bit.
Flipping heck.
Let me just get a comparison.
It looks fab, Jayne. It does.
From that to that. Come on.
know the other thing I think is amazing, that you were happy to say, look, this is what it looks like.
It took me a while to be able to get to that stage. When I first came home from hospital, I was terrified to look underneath the dressing, and my husband was like, I'll do it till you're ready. And then he looked at it and he was like, it's fine, it's absolutely fine. He said, and even if it wasn't, you'd be fine, because I love you no matter what. But he sort of like took it really gently with me. And then I was like, oh, go on, I'll have a look. And now, I mean, we've been whipping it off all day, showing everybody. It doesn't bother me now.
Tell me about your husband and your boys.
They're amazing. They've made me laugh. They've ran me baths. My husband's learnt to cook after 20-odd years. They've just been my absolute rock. I couldn't have got through it without any of them. I really couldn't.
The really big thing was you said you could smell. Is that true?
I can smell. I didn't realise I could smell until they took the dressing out. And then I had a cup of tea and I was like, oh my God, that tastes amazing. And these lot laugh at me because every time we have something new, I'm like, oh, that tastes amazing, because I haven't been able to taste for 2 years.
I mean, the appreciation that you must have.
It's just amazing.
When you've had something taken away.
Yeah, and being able to smell your kids' farts.
Clearly, I mean, honestly, we'd got this far. She'd done really well, hadn't she? To not embarrass you.
Just telling the truth.
Yes, she's telling. Are they legendary?
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, amazing.
But just small things as a family.
I know. I mean, your life has changed immeasurably. Can you sum up the biggest thing for you?
Last time I saw you, I was like a hermit and I was hardly going out. I'm now volunteering for a charity called Contact the Elderly, and I'm taking groups of little old people out for Sunday teas. I'm meeting strangers and I'm living my life. I couldn't do that before. It's giving me my life back.
Just so lovely to see you really smiling.
I am.
Thank you for coming back, Jayne.
Thank you very much.
Give it up for Jayne, everyone.